Pahea na o makua na la a holoholona na kupuna me kaua kaukeia. Kokua kaua, malama pu'u vai hamama, mana o hamama. Mahalo nui loa kaualoha palena ole mene mene palena ole. Mahalo nui loa kako, mama. Aloha, my dear Ohana out there, my dear family, friends out there, listening to the next episode of I Am Aloha. For today, for the beginning, I'd like to just remind you we're having a new moon with the it's lunar eclipse and solar eclipse. With a solar eclipse this weekend, so just be aware of yourself. And we have a portal day on Monday, so be a little bit mindful with yourself. Just watch out how you're feeling, what you're doing, kind of like where your emotions are going and what life wants you to see and maybe let go. If you have special things that you like to let go, use this weekend to emphasize on them and to put your attention to them, because the new moon will help you to let go of things. It's just easier during this time. After the new moon, beginning of next week, you're gonna have a growing moon. So when the moon starts to grow, that's the time where you can actually emphasize your thoughts on positive things that you like to call into your life. So just be aware of those things for yourself on an energetic level if you want to call more things into your life, or maybe let go. So that's for the energy update. And now we're going into the last of the 7 principles of the Huna philosophy. And like all the others, it's one of my favorites. And maybe you might have heard of it. It's called Pono. Pono means everything, if it works, it's okay. But you've probably heard it from another name from the Hawaiian, which is Ho'oponopono. Ho'o means to make, and pono means, well, we already said if it works, it's okay. But the word, like the exact translation would be pono means being godly, godly harmony. So I know there's a different word for godly right now, but I don't remember. But you know what I'm saying. It's like a very spiritual harmony, a very big harmony. Being very harmonious. So ho'o means making it harmonic again. So when you say double, you've probably heard of lomi lomi massage, and it's the same with Ho'oponopono, because it's kind of like making it bigger than it is. So it's not just this godly harmony you want to bring into your life. It's actually even bigger. So it's more, you want to try to make it even more perfect. So that's why it's Ho'oponopono, make something perfect. But we're going to go into Ho'oponopono next week. For today, I'd like to just stay with the word Pono. Pono, again, Pono as a word means godly, harmonious, godly harmony, but in the 7 principles, it means if it works, it's good. It's okay if it works, which means that if something works for me, it's great, but it might not be the same as for you. So it's kind of like this reminder that you are allowed to have a different feeling for something. And you are allowed, like, if something works for me, that's fine. But it doesn't mean that it has to, like, not work for someone else. Let's say you're someone that really likes prayers very much. And you like to pray in church. And that makes you feel good. It gives you confidence. That's awesome. That's really great. If that's what works for you, that's awesome. Other people prefer, maybe someone else prefers to just go jogging to free their mind. That's what they do. So basically it's kind of like a reminder that each one of us has different views and different kind of ways to see things, and whatever works for you, that's awesome. If you want to have a healing and you know that having a shaman do their thing around you, that's what helps you, go ahead and do that. Very great. Just go ahead and do that because that's what works for you. It's awesome. But maybe for something else, you might like something else as well. I'd like to take myself as an example because I've learned shamanic ways. So I'm a shamanic practitioner, but I've also learned special energetic kind of things, energy work, basically, and also different things in that, within that. And well, also I know of Lomi Lomi massage, and I also know of the Huna philosophy and of meditation and of Ho'oponopono. So depending on whatever I have as a topic for myself, whatever pain comes up or maybe a fear comes up, I just feel into which one of the treasures that I have so far will help me best. So I choose that. I choose whichever is Pono with me. So I do that, and then if it feels good for me, I'll do that. And most of the time, it will help me, you know? So it's the same thing when I have a client. At first, of course, we talk and see whatever the topic is and whatever that person wants to either release, let go, or transform, or maybe even heal. So then I decide, or we decide together, which one of the tools that I've learned so far will help that person. And for one person, it might be something out of my shamanic practitioner tools. And for others, it might be a Ho'oponopono practice or a meditation. So it always depends whatever is Pono for that person. And that's one of the things that I find so amazingly great about Pono and about this principle of the Hawaiian philosophy, because it actually shows us and gives us kind of like it allows us to choose whatever feels good for us, because you've probably have done something that hasn't felt good for you, and it's just not great, right? And sometimes it turns out not to be good at all. And then there are other things that might work for other people but may not work for you, or that works for you but not for other people. So Pono kind of reminds us that we are all human beings, and we're so diverse in all our ways of beings, that each of us has different things that work and that don't work for us. And I find it amazingly helpful because it kind of allows us to say, wow, you like something else, and it's completely okay because for you it's good, but it doesn't feel good for me. Or the other way around, this is so awesome for me, but I know it might not work for you. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, because it also gives us it kind of like allows us to not like to be okay with things that we like, but also be okay with things that we don't like, or maybe be okay with ourselves the way we are, because we are the way we are, and we don't have to change everything. I mean, things that are making us feel bad, we should change that, but I think one of the main ideas is to find love within ourselves. And Pono tells us that we're okay the way we are. We're okay if that's the way we are right now. I mean, it might not be in a week or in a year, but for right now, we're all okay. We're at the place we are in, where we are, the way we are. We're allowed to feel good, or maybe even feel bad about certain things and just not do them. So that's kind of like the exercise I want you to do for this week, is to just like get a feeling of yourself, to kind of like feel into the things you do throughout the week. Are you Pono with them? Are they okay for you? Like, are you feeling harmonic with them? Is there a nice harmony for you with whatever you're doing? Maybe, or are you doing things that are not Pono with you, but you feel like you have to because you don't want to make someone feel bad? Um, or maybe you just want to, you're doing it because you think people are expecting it from you, but it doesn't feel good. Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes we're just bound by social rules that we think we have to do them. But sometimes, when you really look at certain things, you will find out some things that you thought everyone else expected from you. But in the end, when you don't do them because they just don't feel Pono with you anymore, they just don't feel good, when you change that, you'll find out that certain people just don't even care. They weren't even thinking about it. So this is kind of like the Pono thing, like find your own way where you're okay with doing things, where you accept yourself with what you're doing. You're going to see that once you start accepting yourself more, you're going to be accepting the others more. And if accepting yourself is a little bit harder, don't worry. You'll start with the others, because they're kind of like this. It's kind of like a mirror effect you're going to have. It's a little bit like with the judgment that we had a couple of weeks ago. Once you start not judging the others and just allowing everyone else to be in their Pono way, you're gonna see yourself allowing yourself to be that same way too. That's a nice exercise. So you can look into that, how that makes you feel good with certain things. And the other thing is, I'd like to add one more thing, because it's one of the things that I've learned with spiritual things in general. And that's basically having because you've probably heard of how do I put this best? Let's just take this example. I was learning about the shamanic healing circle, or circle of medicine wheel. I think in English it's called medicine wheel. And there's a certain way you have to put the stones for north, south, west, and east. The interesting thing is, when I started learning about it, I also use websites that I find to get more information. And I found out that there are like 3 different kinds of interpretations on where everything is supposed to go. Aha, so you see where I'm getting at. I think that there's a certain vibration we give to things. But in the end, what I want to put in, what I'm trying to say is that of all the different kinds of ways, I got to that point because I actually had teachers that were teaching like kind of different things of the same thing, you know? So I kind of like got to the point that in the end, it doesn't matter what I decide to choose as north, south, east, or west, because it, as long as it's Pono with me, as long as I'm fine with it, that's the way it's going to be. And of course there are certain things that you can use. What kind of color has that interpretation, or what kind of stone has this kind of interpretation? I mean, you've probably also once in your lifetime probably tried to get someone to read your dreams, right? And then you find this many interpretations of them. So basically what you do is find the ones that are most Pono with you. I had that, for example, as well, because I was studying the I Ching a while ago. You've probably heard about it. And I actually had a teacher tell me, buy those 3 or 4 books and just look at all of them. So I had to look at all the interpretations and just get a feeling of which of these were actually the right interpretation, because everyone interprets everything in a different kind of way. So basically, whatever is Pono with me, that's going to be fine. And it's the same thing. I know probably some people are going to go, oh my God, no. But for me, that's how it is when I work in a shamanic way. I remember my first shamanic teacher telling me, no matter what I say as a teacher, if your spirits say that's how it's supposed to go, you always listen to your spirits first. Because they're going to guide you the way you're supposed to go. And for me, if something feels Pono or not, it's also part of my spirit guides or of my own higher self telling me if I'm doing something correctly or not. So that's kind of like also this thing of being Pono with something. If it feels good to use a certain color for myself, that's fine because it works for me. And if for you it works differently, it's fine if you do it differently. You know, it's like when you try to use sage for cleaning your room. Some shamans will tell you have to go clockwise, others will tell you counterclockwise. So in the end, do whatever feels Pono for yourself, and then you will see you're going to be fine. So that's Pono. So I hope I was able to give you the nice impulses from this. I hope you can use this to look at yourself a little bit different in the next week. And I'm already looking so much forward to talk to you about Ho'oponopono next week. And until then, please, let's start with a big aloha mahalo from my heart to your heart for listening. Use the power of the new moon and the solar eclipse for yourself to get rid of things, and maybe next week to pull in things that you'd like to. Until then, have a blessed time, and ahui ho, bye-bye. Thanks a lot for tuning in again. I hope you were able to have some good takeaways for yourself. Please don't forget to subscribe to my podcast, and if you'd like to receive some information about actual energies and more inspirational information, sign up to my newsletter. You can find the link on my website www.iamaloha.de. I am looking forward to talk to you again next time, and until then, aloha mahalo, e ho'omaikai kako, e ahui ho.